Oh, I was muted, sorry. I was saying I just set the recording already because last time I forgot until we were about 10 minutes into it. How was everyone? Rebecca, hi.
Hi. I'll have to jump off 10 minutes early because I have a 3 o'clock appointment, but I had to be here. I could.
No, that's okay. Don't worry. I'm glad you're here. I'm just going to give everybody a few minutes. I think while we're waiting for everybody to come in, I will do a little introduction of myself. If anybody comes in and doesn't have can you check and just make sure that you have yourself on mute? And then when we talk, we can unmute. But I'll just do a quick introduction because I forgot to last time. I know there are a lot of new people here, so welcome. I'm super excited that I was blown away by the response on Instagram. I couldn't even keep up yesterday. I was trying to, because I don't have one of those auto responders that says that will just send the information. So every time somebody replied that they wanted the information, I was on my phone so much yesterday, but I'm so grateful that you're all here. So we are celebrating a year of Inspired, which is our creative membership community. And we just get together every month and we make art and we share with each other. And there's a whole bunch of resources inside Inspired. If you're curious about that part of it. I'll do at the end a little tour. Mariana, you're I think we're hearing your background noise. If you can mute yourself, I might be able to mute it. There we go. Okay, can everybody hear okay? I'm just trying to clear everybody. Okay. So my name is Sarah Schroeder. I am an artist and abstract painter. I live in Miami, Florida. I've been painting for all my life, but professionally since about 2018. And I love art journaling as part of my professional practice, but also as just a part of my own self-care practice. And it helps me get to know my art. It helps me stay grounded as a person. And the blending of my art in my journal plus some written journaling helps me be really introspective and understand myself better and understand my art better, which is kind of why I'm such a proponent of journaling. And Inspired is really based around that. So today, we're going to be together for about probably like 40 to 45 minutes of actually making something that we can put in our journals. And then we'll stick around and talk a little bit if we want to too. So before I get started, does anybody have questions? Or are we ready to just jump right into it? I think I've got a couple different screens here. So if somebody wants to. Vanessa, do you have a question? Or are you just excited to be here? I'm not sure. I'm looking at the chat right now. If you do have a question, you guys can speak up. Because I can't see everybody on one screen. So if I'm not seeing you and you have your hand raised, go ahead and pipe in. If you want to add in from during the chat while we're going to where you're from, that's always interesting too. We usually have people from Australia, sometimes in Europe, Canada, we have South America, we have people from all over. So it's always really interesting to see where everybody is coming from. So to start with, we need to get our materials together. You'll need some kind of paint. It's whatever you're comfortable using. So watercolor, acrylic, gouache, whatever is around you and you are excited to use today. We need obviously some brushes and some water. Paper, I have mixed media paper with me today, but you can use cardstock if you want, or you could even use watercolor paper if that's what you have. I think I said in the supply list 2 to 4 pieces, but you might actually go through more than that. So just have a bunch. Pencils and pens for mark making, some kind of final paper to put like an end composition on, whether it's a loose leaf piece of paper or it's something in your journal. Some kind of adhesive, so like a glue stick or Elmer's or Mod Podge or acrylic medium, and scissors. And optional would be markers, colored pencils, crayons, anything like that, and a magazine or something that you can rip a little word out of at some point. At the end, we're going to need a little word. So that's why I said a magazine or a catalog, something. And that's it for our, oh, the found objects. If you have anything that you have with you that you want to dip in your paint and drag across the paper or drag it through the paint. I have some examples here, like this little, I just have a little baby shampoo bottle because it's fun to stamp the bottom. I have also a little, like a travel lotion tube. I have Q-tips. And then I have this skewer, an appetizer skewer that's kind of fun to drag through the paint. So anything that seems like it will be interesting. And I think that's it. If you guys are ready to get started, I usually like to do just a quick little couple breaths, nothing big or crazy, but I just like to sit and take a few deep breaths. I close my eyes. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm just going to take a few deep breaths and really just be grateful to be here in this moment, and that I have all of you here with me and that I get this creative time. And just take a minute to really come into your body and feel how it is to be in this space. And just really relax. We get this time all to ourselves. Okay. So when I planned this particular day, I really just wanted us to be able to relax and play and sort of lean into our intuition. So we're going to start with a piece of paper and whatever paint you chose. We're just right now going to apply paint to the paper, however it feels good. Whether you want to do, I'm going to switch over to my table camera here so that you can see. No? Okay. So we're just going to make some really like backgrounds. Oh, I have a delay. I tried so hard to make it so I don't have a delay, but this is going to be everything that happens on the camera is going to be a couple seconds behind my actual words. So I apologize for that. I tried to fix it, but I don't know. I tested it out and everything. So we're just going, what I would say is pick the color that you're most drawn to today and start applying it to your paper in a way that just feels kind of soothing to you. So whether that's just get real messy with it and just start smearing it around with a brush, you could use your fingers if that would feel really good to you. Or if you want to do some really precise lines, whatever feels good to you right now in this moment, start with the color you're most drawn to and then go from there. And as you start to move through this, you'll probably feel inclined to use another color or try another brush stroke. Whatever you're feeling like you want to do, go ahead and do it. We're just working with colors and filling probably, I don't know, we'll work on this I'll set my timer for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and do the next step. And feel free, if you have different paints, if you want to do maybe one with acrylic paint and you want to do one with watercolors, that's fine too. And then as far as the optional materials of crayons or markers, you can also do that. I did some of this with crayon, just experimenting, and I actually have these. I'm probably late to the game, but I've seen these Stabilo, I don't know, these pencils all over the internet, and I've never used them, and they're like giant. It's a combination between a crayon and a pencil, and they're really fun to use. And I think they're actually made for like preschoolers and kindergartners, but they feel really awesome to use. And then markers also, if you're so inclined, make a really nice pattern if you just want to fill a page with something like that. So you really have freedom to choose how you want to fill your pages. If anybody has questions, go ahead and speak up. And if you want if you're using acrylic and you want your paint to be really loose and not really precise and thought out, you can actually just add the paint straight to the paper. I always find that kind of makes me let go of wanting to control everything. If anybody feels like just popping in and saying where you're from, I'd love to hear where we have everybody coming from. If not, I get it too.
I'm in San Diego.
Nice. Welcome. How's the weather out there?
It's really nice right now. It's sunny, probably about 70.
Oh.
We're supposed to get some rain during the week, so that's exciting for here.
70 sounds gorgeous.
Yes, it's hard to complain. A little dry, but
Thank you for sharing.
Santa Barbara, California.
Oh, welcome. Another California person.
not too far away.
I'm in Mount Shasta, California, and it's freezing, but sunny and beautiful.
I bet it's beautiful. That sounds gorgeous.
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Welcome.
Where are you?
I am in Miami, and it's
Okay.
I feel like it's too hot for this time of year, but I feel like I think that every year.
Right.
I'm just north of Detroit and it is snowing.
Oh,
You're probably the coldest out of all of us.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
I'm from Pittsburgh. It is also snowing here.
Is it cold and snowing or is it comfortable and snowing? I grew up in the Northwest, so I feel like there's sometimes when it's snowing, it's not so bad. It's when it's like so freezing it can't snow that it gets really bad.
I had to wear a coat for the first time, but still not super cold.
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, beautiful. I just went to Oregon in October. We were in Manzanita. It was gorgeous.
Manzanita's awesome.
Mm-hmm. We loved it.
Yeah, can't go wrong with the Pacific Northwest coast. I guess the whole West Coast can't really go wrong.
Yeah. And the weather was gorgeous, but we were all wearing coats, even though I know the person from Pennsylvania was saying that that was the first time she wore a coat. We have about 3 minutes left. If you would like to switch modes a little bit and continue to use color, but start with maybe making some marks with your paint and your brushes, instead of just filling a background, you're welcome to start doing that also. Maybe, whatever intrigues you. Or continue going. If you're in your flow and enjoying it, just keep doing what you're doing. This whole exercise is just an invitation to play and get messy and try new things. So veering off and doing something on your own is definitely supported and welcome. Okay, so keep working if you want. We're gonna switch modes a little bit. I will show you some things. We're gonna start working with black and white. This you can use, so you don't necessarily have to work black and white. I like black and white. I like the contrast of it with my other painted colors. I did this with black acrylic paint. You could also use black gesso. You could use ink if you have it. But this is just mark making with brushes or with your found objects. If you don't have those things and you prefer a little more precision, you can just do some marks using pens or pencils. We'll spend about 10 minutes again working on a couple different papers like this, and then we'll move on to our next step. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want to share about the last section that we did? You're welcome to pipe in if you have anything.
Sarah, I just have a question. I'm wondering if you could make your screen bigger than everyone else's, the share screen.
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I was thinking
No, that's
that
okay. I didn't know if that was my fault, like for, I don't know how to work Zoom or if it's
no,
just.
you know what? I think, yes, there is a way for me to do it. And I was thinking you guys could see my big screen, but you can't. So hang on, let me figure this out. There is a way for me to make mine bigger. You would think, I say this every single time, that you would think I would be better at navigating this whole thing, but I haven't quite figured everything out yet.
No worries.
How's this? Hang on, I can pin myself. There, look at that. We got it. Thank you. I didn't see who was talking to me, but thank you for pointing that out.
I still
I
don't,
don't,
I don't see
see
your
you at
large
all.
screen.
You can't see me?
I can't
No.
see your large screen.
If you, the folks that
There you are.
Can you see me now? I think if you toggle back and forth between screens, you should be able to see mine because I have it pinned to I think it's pinned to the top. Does that make sense?
If you can't see the big screen, you can also, like in the top right-hand corner, there's a view button. You might be on gallery view. If you click that and hit speaker, that might help you guys out.
Okay, thank you.
Does that work? Does everybody see it now?
No.
If you hover over Sarah's video, there should be a blue box on the top right corner with 3 dots. And just click pin video, and then it should pin it permanently for the rest of the time.
Okay, thank you.
And if I'm speaking, does it show you guys me? No? Yes?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But I'm okay. I can hear you.
Well, but you can't see my screen, right?
I can't see your screen, but I can
You
still
should be able to
move
pin
forward.
you should
I
be able
don't
to
have the
pin
3
your
dots.
screen somewhere.
I don't have the 3 dots up in the corner.
All right, let me do one more thing. Hang on.
Hey,
Now we see your screen.
That works?
Nej, det ska jag inte göra.
No.
Jag ska inte. Hon har en liten kurs där. Rör ingenting, allting är blött.
It'll
Allting är
help
blött.
if
Nej,
everybody
rör
mutes
inte. Ni ska
themselves
gå upp och
except
lägga er.
Sarah.
Yeah, can everybody mute yourself except for me?
Okay.
Okay, now if I'm speaking, I think mine should show up.
Yep, you're
Okay.
there.
Okay.
yes, I can see
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Please
there we
wait.
go. Okay, and then I think also if you are viewing, if you're looking at the screen and then on the way mine is the right hand side has the gallery down the side, if you kind of have the gallery off to the side, and then when you put your arrow over me, there should be 2 blue boxes that show up in the corner. One says mute and one has 3 dots. If you click on the one that has 3 dots, there's also an option to pin or remove pin. And then if you pin me, then mine should just stay up, I think.
Mine shows meeting settings, backgrounds and effects, and disconnect audio.
Hmm.
Do you think it's in meeting settings? Let's try that.
Sorry, if you go to the view, you have like a view with many little cameras, and then you can change the view if you touch her image and put like there's a big rectangle and little rectangles down.
I have you now up in the corner. I see a bunch of other people too, but that's okay. I see what you're doing.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Oh.
So what we're doing is we're just making like, we're using black and we're just playing around making like shapes and things with different things.
Yes, you can either do it with your found objects, or if you prefer a little more precision, you can use pens or pencils, or you can stick with your brushes. I'm just experimenting a little bit with the things that I brought with me just to see what kind of different results I can get.
Cool. Thank you.
I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm so glad.
Mm.
I'm curious if anyone brought different found objects with them. And if you did, if you would share what you brought, just because I'm curious about it.
I did.
What'd you
How
bring?
can I show you? Okay, hold on. Flip the screen. Okay, this is what I got over here. It's just the bottom of this.
Hang on, let me see. I don't have you on my screen.
I used just the bottom of a like acrylic paint, and then I used a brush, and then this is stuff that I got from the ink, that little ink bottle.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like the bottoms of bottles are some of the most fun little stamps we can find.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it until just this moment, but some of those spice jars with the little bumps all around the bottom edge would be kind of cool too.
I have a tiny cookie cutter for polymer clay in the shape of a snowflake, but I'm actually having more fun rolling it on its side than stamping the snowflake shape.
Oh, nice. I'm waiting for, we're almost done with this little portion, but I was waiting for my camera to catch up with me. I'm going to show you something that is kind of fun. I actually haven't done it in a while, but I just thought of it while I was doing this. It's a fun way to make some marks and kind of create a starting place for yourself. So I made my camera will catch up in a minute. I made a little puddle of black. Hello. And I'm dipping a string in the paint. It's all going to show up in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then I will talk to you as it shows. It looks like my camera is completely frozen.
I think it is frozen. Because we see your hand. Oh, no, your hand's moving.
Yeah.
Your hand is moving. It's moving.
All right. So new piece of paper, and then I'm taking a string and dipping it in a little puddle of black ink. I'll show you it'll show up in a minute. And then if you put it on inside a paper and fold it, oh, see, there's going to be a big pause here. The point is that you you put it on the paper like it is sitting right there, and then fold the paper over it, and then press your hand over the folded piece and then drag the string out. And it will then make a really unpredictable mark on your paper that you can use as a starting point. I'm gonna switch over to my regular camera instead of this one because of the delay here. Or maybe not. Here we go. There. So that's super unpredictable. It makes it a little bit fun to start there and then drag your brush through that and do other details. I do a few more after this. I'm going to switch my video. Here we go. I just did these, they're like mirrored forms because of the way the string was pressed between the folded paper. But it just, if you're a person who has a hard time really needing, or if perfection is stopping you, then that can be a good way to start a new page or a pattern in a way that is really not controlled. So I'm just going to play with this for a little bit and see what kind of marks I can come up with.
If everybody could mute yourself, then Sarah's screen will stay the large screen when we're in speaker format, but every time you make a little noise at your desk, it bumps to your name on the screen instead of her actual demonstration.
I wonder if I can. Okay, so now that we've done some of the patterns, I'm just, so we don't get a delay, I'm going to just hold things up to my screen here, old fashioned. This is my original one that I was working on. This is the second one that I did some work on as we were sitting here. I have some that I was doing earlier today that I did with some gold paint, which I really like this one. And then I have the colored piece that I had done. And the two colored pieces that I had done earlier in the day. So those are the ones that I have to work with right now. I think we might need a couple minutes for our paint to dry. So instead of waiting until the end to do the little intro to Inspired, I think I'll do it right now so that our paint can dry, and then we can move into the next part of the exercise. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with to show you the inside of Inspired. Okay, can everybody see that? It says inside your Inspired membership. Are you able to see that? Thumbs up. Okay.
Yes.
So this is the inside. Every week I update some things in Studiogram, which is really just a peek inside my studio practice and the art that I'm making. I show my journal pages. If I'm working on a project, I'll show that. I show some of my newest artwork before it actually goes on my website. It's kind of like Instagram, but behind closed doors. And then every month we have a journal prompt, which I post within the first week. And it is just something to get you thinking and to give you ideas for your journal over the month. And there are usually several different ways you can use each prompt. And they're always available. All of these are all available at the same time. It's not, you don't get just one at a time. You can look back at the library and see everything. So for example, we'll look at this one. I show examples of how I use the prompt in my own journals, and then kind of where the idea came from. And sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's just still photos like this one. So every now and again, you'll get a process video with the journal prompt. And then I just have questions to go along with it. And I show more examples. And then there's usually an invitation for the prompt to like different ideas of how you could use it repeatedly over time. So it's not just a one-time deal. You could be using it all month long, or you can come back to it later and do something new. So those are the journal prompts. And let's see, we'll go back. And then here is your menu, always to get you back to the main menu, the Inside Inspired at the top right. And then every month we do a studio session, which alternates in times to try to accommodate people who are in different places around the world. They're usually about an hour long. And then we also have a co-work hour, which I just started, but that is really to provide us with some accountability if that's what we need, but also just the companionship, because I feel like when you can put it on the calendar and show up for yourself, if you're like, I have studio hour at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, you're going to show up and do something. So sometimes if it's challenging for you to be able to put time on your schedule to be creative, that's helpful. And then for the studio hour or the co-work hour, we just bring our own projects. So you bring whatever you want. We visit about what we're all doing so we can just be interested in each other's projects. And then we'll work on it for 50 minutes and then come back and talk about the progress we made and have a little dialogue also. And then the monthly studio session is like today, always a different project, something fun and low stress, so that we don't have to put a ton of thought into it and we can just have some fun. It gives us a chance to visit with each other and get creative at the same time. And it's usually something that you can use over and over again, the same as the journal prompts, so that you always will have an idea waiting for you when you open up your journal. And then we have the forum inside Inspired, which is for conversations about inspired things. Our studio sessions, our journal prompts, discoveries we're making, questions we might have. It's just another place to make conversation and to get to know the people that are inside Inspired. And then we have a section of process videos and tutorials, which right now has over 40 different process videos and tutorials. And it also includes most of the tiny journal course. It's slowly being added over time. So when you do join, you also get the tiny journal course, but it's not quite finished yet. So you can't quite see the whole thing. That comes over time. But there are a bunch of other different process videos in here also. All kinds of different materials, sometimes in the journal, sometimes not, but mostly in the journal. And then I always laugh at this next section because, you know, my web designer was trying to talk me out of calling it this because it's just a mouthful. It's hard to say. The artication instead of education. I thought it's so cute. And I was like, I can't actually say it. So that's what it is. It's basically art education, or things that offer you some education on art. Books that I've read that I find really interesting and beneficial, movies, documentaries, things like that, that are just interesting to keep yourself sort of on top of what's going on in art in the world. And then the perks is kind of just what it says, early notice on artwork, discounts on early notice on new courses and things like that. So that's basically the inside of Inspired. Does anybody have any questions about that? No. My lighting is really terrible right now. I don't usually do studio sessions at this time of day, mostly because of the lighting. Just we just replaced these windows and I don't have my shades back there yet. So I'm sorry about that. Let me check the chat really quick before we move on. Okay, no questions. All right, so next part of our exercise, this is where you're going to get your magazine. We're just going to flip through and we're looking for one word that really just grabs our attention. Something, it doesn't have to mean anything necessarily, but if you see it and you're like, oh, that's the word I'm going to use, just grab it. You can cut it out, you can tear it out, whatever you want to do. Just try to pay attention to your own draw, your own intuition as far as the word goes, and just be willing to grab something. It doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering or super resonant, but just whatever you rest on that you want to grab. So I am going to put my tabletop camera back on, but it is going to be delayed a little bit. Once you have your word, look through the papers that you just made, the ones with marks and the ones with paint, and try to find something, even if it's just a little section in what you just made that feels that it somehow can relate to the colors you just put down or the patterns you just made. And we're going to try to pair 2 or 3. This will be on your final paper or on your journal page. So I'm going to use my journal. This one is a Stillman and Burn mixed media paper. It's really smooth, or it might be hot press watercolor. It's the Stillman and Burn Zeta series. The paper is nice and thick and doesn't really warp. So this is where we're going to use our scissors. We're going to use the papers that we just painted. We're going to use the word from our magazine, and we're going to relate what we just painted and the patterns we just made to the word that we just found. And we're going to just make a little mini composition on our final paper or in our journal just by pairing some of these papers together. And you can cut them out in random shapes. You can tear them, whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just setting up all these things to work together.
I'm not sure I understand. So we can cut some of the shapes off of the paper and pluck it onto another paper with the word.
Yeah, hang on just one second. Let me see if I can. So I have, when I was sorting through my magazines, I found this word. It just says life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that in my journal wherever I decide I want it to go.
Yeah.
And then as I'm looking through the pieces that I just painted,
Yeah.
I'm going to find something in here that speaks to me, somehow resonates with the word life. And I'll cut that out and I'll put that in my journal and arrange the word and the cuttings in a way that I find satisfying to me.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have a journal, but I have a bunch of papers everywhere. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna pick one paper and plunk it on there.
Exactly.
I have a journal, but it's not very, the paper is very flimsy. So this is like good paper. Watercolor paper.
Yeah, go ahead and use that. See if this works. No. Of course, my camera would be freaking out now. Okay. when I'm working in my journal too, I never worry too much about like the type of glue I'm using. I just kind of use whatever is around. So once you have your little composition done, I have a few questions for reflection. And usually after I do a journal page, I'll use the opposite side to do a little reflection over here. So I can put that up also. Those are some questions. We'll take a few minutes to do that.
Bon, j'ai pris la caméra, c'est parfait.
All right, has everybody had time to do a little journaling, to do a little reflection?
Yes, I have.
Okay, let me switch. All right, so if anybody would like to share, that's more than welcome. I feel like we have a lot of new people here, so it might be a little nerve-wracking to speak up, but if anybody would like to, just go ahead and pop in. I'd be really curious to hear, since we're at the end, what your experience was like with the whole exercise, but then also if you're comfortable with sharing what your insight was with with the final composition, I'm curious to hear that too. Would anybody like to be brave and volunteer?
I'll go.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm in my jammies, you guys, but hold on a second here. So this is one of the ones that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it says build new.
Oh, nice.
And that's just on one of, like, it's just a paper. Yeah. I just really like it. Then I did this one over here. The whole idea experience inspired. And I'm going to put a big thing that says wild. There's the wild right there. I'm going to put that one on there. Then I found all these other words. I'm like, oh, look, the soul. Oh my God. Oh, comes alive, onward and upward. So I'm going to put it on, like, maybe the soul on this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And then this one over here, I did like these while we all today. This one says balance and harmony.
And
it's
you
just
found
kind of
so many. You found so
I
many.
know. This is a great exercise. I loved it. I did this. And this one says, thank you for that. I was running around the house trying to find a string.
Oh.
I found one that says step inside. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I am so happy for you that you found so many words. Sometimes it doesn't come so easily, but that you had a great like a gold mine.
Gold mine. Yeah, this is a silly magazine I had here from, like, so one of these, architecture from Wyoming magazines. I was like, oh my God, it has everything. So anyways, it's a big mess and I love it. And I'm going to do another one for that one down there. Anyways, thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. The blue one feels, I can feel that the build new just feels like encouraging and like, I don't know, there's something very comforting about it to me.
Yeah, I'm in this process of, like, building new courses and, like, not judging myself because they're very creative and it's not about the same thing. Anyways.
Yeah.
So it is, I am in the process of building new, and a lot of it is about, like, my own creative expression and journey. And so I just thought this was rad. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Who's next?
Yeah, exactly. Would anyone else like to go?
I'll share.
Okay.
It's not quite all taped down yet, but the word says eternity, and I cut it in half because it was really long for the page. And then it felt like eternity to me comes from the word like ether. So I thought it was kind of celestial, like, the universe is going to continue forever maybe. And then we have got like these pluses, just kind of a overall, I guess, positive vibration towards, like, I don't know, it's the cosmos maybe.
Yeah, I love it. It does feel very celestial.
Cool. I love this exercise, by the way. Thank you so much. I was feeling really stuck, so this was
thank you. Thank you guys for bearing with me too over all the camera stuff and the weird lighting. I appreciate it. I was like, come on, everybody, come and enjoy. And then I'm having all these problems. So I appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with me. Would anybody else like to share?
I'll share.
Okay. Ooh.
The words were adapt and love together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was for some reason greens and taupes and golds and whites and stuff. So
Yeah. The green feels really peaceful to me, and like it always reminds me of nature. So I think that's probably why that it feels peaceful like that. Is it a color that you work with a lot?
no, actually, I don't work with green very often at all. I don't like working with green paint.
That's so funny. I normally don't either, but it has such a peaceful feeling to it.
Yeah, and then I really liked these leaves because they're like
Mm.
multi-colored, and I just really liked them, and I wanted them to be on there for sure.
Yeah.
Me.
I love the words that you found too.
I was pretty fortunate on that. I was like, all right, that's a good one.
I know. Sometimes you just got to take whatever's there. My first time around on the exercise, I found genius, and I was like, all right, I don't know quite how I'm going to use that one, but it's still sitting here on my table. I have to find something for it next time. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I'll share if you can cope with the UK accent.
Oh, I love a UK accent. Go ahead.
I don't have any magazines, but I managed to find the word line, which is very small up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I happen to love lines, so it fits in with what I like to do. Perfect. I have no idea what else I've done there, but anyway, that's it.
Yeah, you might find something over time. If the more you look at it and the more you think about it, you might find that there's something in there that is meaningful to you, Sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the moon shape. I find really attractive.
Well, it's kind of vaguely Matisse inspired, cutting lines out and collaging the lines on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it's a bit like crossing borders as well, and moving from one phase into another. Oh. And I'm just about to move into a new studio for 3 months. So it's like I'm going over the line into the next chapter, if you like.
And you just said moving into a new phase, and I thought it looked like a moon. You have that's sort of metaphorical. You have the phase of the moon. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I'll share mine.
Okay. Let's see, where are you?
Okay, let's see. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Oh, I have a blurred filter on. I don't know how I did that.
Usually if you hold it towards your body, we can see it a little bit better, like towards your chest, because it focuses on your body. There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
There's a lot of crows hanging out with me today.
Oh.
You'll hear them in the background. My word is actually speed limit, because I'm feeling right now like I need to slow down and impose some speed limits for myself, just in terms of the number of things that I have going on at the same time, and trying to rush, and holidays make you like that too.
Yeah, me too. I can relate to that.
So I think because of that too, I was drawn to just like a really simple color palette. I only use 2 colors. And then I like watered down my black acrylic to make almost like an ink for my mark making.
Yeah.
And just like with my mark making too, the idea of like using the same mark over and over until the paint ran out made me slow down and not just like go get more paint each time. So
yeah, I like that. I love all of the the symbology and everything you did.
Yeah.
It
was a very playful. It was fun.
Isn't it interesting how we are just using magazines that you guys didn't even know what they were for, and picked them up, and you were able to find something that related to exactly what you're feeling right now. I'm always so just kind of like impressed or surprised, or like it's just so neat to me how that works.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Anyone else before we go?
Hello.
Hi.
So well, it's my first time doing something like this. I'm all
Okay,
messed
yeah.
up. I'm not like I'm having trouble to cut and to put together everything.
Yeah.
So I kind of did on my journal recreate some of the things that I liked of the experiments. And then just pasted something, and I'm just like trying to figure out how to do collage with
Yeah.
the rest of it.
Ooh.
And I found this words like this nude. It's just like an invented word and island. So it's just like, and it's just the starting of the sketchbook. So it's just like meaning the island where I'm gonna just get undressed of everything and just like paint. But I have so many stuff like I created, and I don't know what I'm going to do because it's the first time doing collage things. So
That's good
I'm
though.
always on a sketchbook.
Yeah, no, it's great. Now you have a whole supply of things that you can come back to next time. You don't have to make it every time. I have folders and stacks and bowls and of all this stuff that whenever I'm working on collage, I can just start digging through it until I find something that I really like. So that's perfect. You set yourself up for lots of more journal pages in the future. And I love
it just doesn't it make it like too thick for the sketchbook? Like
no,
if you put a lot of papers?
If you, I mean, these sketchbooks are soft, so they can go ahead and they can get bigger.
Okay.
If you find that it's getting super thick, you can always cut a page out to make room. Like you can just cut one of the blank pages out to make room so it can still fold. I don't do collage in every single page either. I'll alternate just a regular page collage, whatever. So I don't have an entire book of all collage.
That's nice.
I
Thank
also
you.
really
It's
love-
really interesting.
Yeah, well, I love that you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna do what I want to do, which I love that you did that you kind of like tried a new comfort zone, but then you're like, I'm gonna back it up for a minute and I'm gonna do something that I'm comfortable with.
You have to figure out how can I cut this and put it inside.
Yeah, that's great. You have the fodder, you have all kinds of stuff to use now. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll check the chat really quick. Oh, look. Okay. I love, there's some sharing in chat that is really nice too from Yoli. Thank you. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Before we go, does anybody have any questions about the project or about Inspired? No? Okay.
So are you going to send us like information about Inspire or?
I can. Well, I don't, if you are on, let me see, how would I do this? I don't have everybody's information that's here. I do have an information page on my website that I can actually, I'll put it down here in the chat really quick. If you go to just sarahschroederart.com, there is a Learn tab, and under the Learn tab, it shows you in selection for Inspired Creative Membership or Inspired Membership Community, and that has all the information about Inspired. Right now, so registration is open right now until November 30th at 8 p.m. and then it's closing for the rest of the year, and it won't open back up again until spring of 2024. And the price will be different at that point also. If you decide you want to do Inspired right now, let me put there's a coupon code. Let me make sure I have it right. 5 off November 23. Yes, this coupon code, 5 off Nov for November 23. That gets you $5 off your monthly subscription for the entire life of your membership. So forever, instead of paying $24.99, you'll be paying $19.99. Is that correct? $19.99. And then what else? Oh, right now my web assistant is actually creating a year-long membership that's $230 for the year instead of paying monthly. So if you'd rather do just one full year, I think last time during our session, somebody asked me about that because their work would reimburse them for self-care practices and they needed just a one-time charge instead of the monthly. So, and it's it is a little bit cheaper to do the year than to do the monthly. But I think that's it as far as details go. All that information is on my website. And then I will put this video back up on, or put the replay on YouTube. So if you want to watch it again, you can. And it will also be posted inside Inspired.
If I was reading correctly on your website, it's a month-to-month kind of a situation, and you can do it for as long as you want or as short as you want, right?
That's correct. And when you sign up, so if you sign up on I don't even know what today it is. Oh, it's the 27th. If you sign up on the 27th, then your 30 days lasts until December 27th. And as long as if you decide you don't want to do it, you just have to cancel before the 27th. And then you still have access for those 30 days, but it won't charge you again on the 27th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, are we good? All right, thanks everybody. If you need anything, you can always message me on Instagram. That's probably the best way to get me really quick. Or you can send me an email. My email address is sarahschroederart@gmail.com. And I'll be in touch with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you.